Well, it's launch day. I decided not to bring a young and reckless person with me because once I got in the water, it'd probably be so boring that they wouldn't have any fun. But that's the ramp. That's a boat. I'll show it to you once I get her all set up. Well, here's the theory. I'm gonna take the back it into the water, and once it begins to float, I'm gonna pull the trailer out from under the boat. And the theory is that this line I have attached to the front will play out, and I'll be able to get out of the truck and grab the boat. Um, and I'm sure this is just going to work like a charm. Well, I got her in the water. She's a little down in the front, but I figured to be a little bit down in the front. But the water is right at the design water line, so that's encouraging, and it's not filling with water, so I'm going to get in there and see if I can get this bad boy operating. Well, I wish I had some good news. I'm out here loving life, very little wind, got the dock all to myself. Only problem is I can't get the engine to run. I got two problems. It's not getting any gas, and I thought it was the fuel pump, so I checked that, and that was working. I primed the carburetor a little bit and it started, but now my starter's not working. I'll try to start it. I think I got a bad. I hope it's only a bad starter switch. So anyway, uh, that's pretty much the end of this rodeo. And just as I suspected, I didn't need a young and reckless guy with me today. So thanks for watching. Well, we're back from the big water. I just pulled the boat in here. I never suspected. I knew I'd have troubles, but I never suspected that the engine wouldn't run. That thing even ran one time when I had a couple of crossed spark plug wires. This thing started on the first crank after I overhauled it. So I'm really curious. About what caused it not to start. So let me get on that, and that'll be the next thing you will discover what the problem was. Well, I think I found the problem. I took the carburetor apart, and here's a little close-up. This is what's called the main jet for the carburetor, and you can see right down there in the center of that hole something that kind of looks like the color of Permatex. That's because I think it is Permatex. So I'm going to clean that out, and I took my carburetor all apart, and I'll give me some carburetor cleaner, but I think if that main jet is plugged up, and you can see it is, the main throttle nozzle and the idle nozzle, neither one of them will work. So I think I found the problem. Okay guys, lessons learned. Don't spend all winter overhauling a motor and building a boat and then not take a couple hours to rebuild your carburetor. This is the main nozzle. This part right here where you see all that crud that's the atomization chamber. What happens is air blows down in there and it goes into those little holes. You can see the little hole right there. There's a series of holes on this body. The gas goes up through the center, but then air goes through those holes and helps atomize the fuel that gets sucked out of by Venturi effect out this part right here. But this thing is just totally crudded up inside. It's amazing this thing ever ran at all. Down inside the throttle, down inside the body, you can see that it's just filled with crud and lacquer and all this stuff. And guys, I built this boat. I overhauled the engine. I've been working my hiney off and didn't take the time to clean this carburetor out. That is pretty amazing. But live and learn. Well, I got the carburetor all cleaned up, so quite sure that was my problem. It was really dirty and clogged up. I'm going to install an inline, one of these cheap inline fuel filters. I also bought a fancy dancy one, but I think I'm going to keep that for void repairs. Figure since I'm in dry dock, I'm going to go ahead and solve that the battery problem. The batteries and the gasoline in the same container. So I had a suggestion that to move the batteries down in the bilges, and somebody else suggested moving the gas back under the seat. Well, I like both ideas, so what I'm doing is I'm moving the batteries under a single battery under the seat and under the floorboard, and I'm moving the gas underneath the seat. So those two jobs, I've figured that out. But since I'm in dry dock, I'm in here for an availability. I'm also going to solve my amateur wires issue. I got all these cables for all my different buses up in there, and I got wires going everywhere. Looks like a blind man did it. So I'm going to try to figure that mess out too. So the next thing you see, hopefully, will be my solution to my wire problem. Well, I'm under the boat, and the reason I'm under here is I'm fixing to start this thing up and test it out, and I want you to see the patent here I got on this water pickup when I got it on the trailer. My water pickup, I put a fitting up there against the hull so I can screw a piece of 1.25-inch pipe into the fitting and then put a hose connection right there. And I don't know if it's going to work because I don't know if that pump will lift water that high, but we're fixing to find out here in about 1 minute. Also, you can see the hole, the shaft, where the shaft log there, where the shaft comes through, and there's the strut and the propeller, and you can also see that I actually did paint the bottom. So here in a few minutes, we're going to go out there and start this thing up. Let me show you what I've done here. As I advertised before, somebody made the suggestion of putting the batteries under the seat, and somebody else said put the gas under the seat. I decided to put both of them under the seat. So the battery's going to go down there in the bilges, and you can see on this battery that I'm down to 2 wires onto that battery. I'll talk about that in a second. And the gas just is right underneath the seat, and the gas line just goes right on there back to it. I was able to simplify my wiring quite a bit. I got rid of about 25% of my wiring by running my battery to 2 studs and simply attaching my buses to those studs. Also got cleaned out my carburetor. I had a piece of Permatex stuck in the main gas jet. I think I showed you that before. I don't know how it got there, but I don't think I used any Permatex, but I could have, because I used it in other places. So somehow a piece of Permatex got in that gas line and got caught in the jet. And that's my theory anyway. Got all that set up and everything. Well, all this work has resulted in one good thing. I actually gained this huge storage area. One of the drawbacks I had before was I had with those 2 gas tanks and 2 batteries, I had no storage. Certainly no dry storage. Well, now I'm going to have this fairly large dry storage area. So let's take this thing outside and see if she starts. Well, it's running.